Hey everybody, so today I'm going to be doing a requested nail design. On my last video, somebody had requested that I do a burnt sienna and nude look, so I'm going to do it my way. I am using for the first time my Veeda Bella practice finger in the shade Sand. This is a new product to me and I am super excited to try it out. I did also get their half hand, so I am going to be using that in a future video, but today I just wanted to do like a little test run with this practice finger, and I had this request to do a design using the burnt sienna colors, so I figured what a good time to do it. So I have on my Kiara Sky C-curve square tip that I filed and shaped into the length that I wanted. I am using two Modelones colored acrylics, a gold glitter and a burnt sienna color, and I am marbling these on the nail. I was going through my Instagram the other day. If you would like to check that out, I will link it down below for you guys. But I was looking at some of my old videos and just some other designs that I've done, and I haven't done a marbled acrylic look in quite a while, so it just inspired me to want to do one. So I really love when you do marbled acrylic to have different textures. I feel like it really kind of shows that marble like in a really fun, funky way. So I wanted to add the gold to this. I start from the tip and work my way backwards towards the cuticle. I am using my not polished size 8 brush, and I am for the nude going to be using my Mia Secret Cover nude blush as well as their clear, which I didn't show you guys the clear, but it's just their plain clear acrylic. And I do the marbled acrylic in sections because obviously acrylic dries upon air contact, so you really need to work fast. Although these the Modelones acrylics are a little bit of a different texture than a lot of the other ones that I use here on my channel, and I feel like you have a lot more time to play around and work with them. They're a little bit more beginner friendly in that aspect, although I think that they are a little harder in the fact that they do stick to your brush, I think, a lot more than some other brands of acrylic. It just means you have to wipe your brush quite a lot and re-wet it in your monomer, clean it off, and go back into the product. So you just have to have like a slightly different technique with this. It doesn't mean they're not usable, but same as any other colored acrylics, I like to make sure that I go ahead and cap that in clear when I'm all done. So I am only using a thin layer, so you really don't have to worry about like this affecting strength, like the slow settingness of it. So I really still like to use these for designs like this. Now, as far as the practice finger, the reason that I got this, because I know you guys have seen me use the red iguana on my channel, was mainly because I like the aspect of the magnet and having the stand be a lot more mobile. So I, on my red iguana hand, needed to use a I don't know what they're called, like it's like is it alligator clamp or something? I can't remember what it's exactly called, but it's like a clamp holder that just kind of fixes in place, and that's what holds the practice hand and practice finger in place while you're working. I really didn't love that because when I wanted to kind of move the hand around, especially when filming to try to get different angles and things, it just wasn't the most efficient. And so I like the aspect of being able to have the magnet as well as the stand be a lot more mobile. So that was a plus for me. The other thing is that Veeda Bella was the first like silicone practice hand company that I saw that did what she calls, I believe, her easy tape method, which I will show you guys what that is towards the end of the video. But basically it's a way of adhering the nail tip to the silicone finger more sturdy, so that when you file and shape and buff and do all those things, you don't feel like the nail is kind of popping off or like tilting to the side. Like silicone hands are very flexible, so if you file them without any type of like adherent product, so like glue or this method, it really kind of moves around a lot and it's hard to file on. You kind of have to hold it in place because it kind of just slips in the like cuticle pocket of the finger. So this method actually makes it, in my opinion, the closest thing that you're you're gonna find to working on another person or a client. So I really like it, and it was something that for me was just very beginner friendly. You didn't have to think about it. I did try this method on my Red Iguana practice hand. I didn't have tips that were already pre-designed to do this method though, so that made it a little more difficult because I kind of had to just file my tips into shape myself, and that made it a little harder. But I will show you what the method is like and how to apply the tips later on. But as you guys could see, I did just do a normal ombre. My first bead was a little drier, so I ended up having to go in with a couple extra beads just to get that blend to look as seamless as I wanted it to. Once I had that, I'm capping the entire nail in clear, which is what you see me doing here. I will say, because that first bead was drier and a lot larger than I expected, I didn't get as tight to the cuticle as I probably could have. I was debating trying to fix it, but it was such a small area, and I just worry about like ruining these practice hands by like flooding them with acrylic and things, that I didn't want to chance it. So you do see a little bit of the quote unquote natural nail showing, and I will get better as I use it more, but I did leave that for a reason this time. It's not that I didn't notice it, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't get the cuticle area flooded with acrylic. But once I had that place and once it was dry, I am going in and filing the nail. I am using, this is my DCH e-file, so it doesn't have an LCD screen on it. I generally go anywhere from like 16 to like 20,000 RPMs when I'm doing just very minor like bulk removal. So nothing where I'm trying to really take down like really thick bulk, like if I'm doing like a full nail removal. So I do tend to go kind of in that range depending on how much I need to take off. But once I have that, I do go in with a hand file. I kind of do my finish filing, get that shape really crisp in the way that I want it, and then I'm going in with my Makartt Rhinestone gel glue. I'm using this little gold like teardrop charm. I don't know if what you would really call these, but I'm applying that to the center of the like tip portion of, or sorry, the cuticle portion of the nail, and I am taking these little caviar beads, at least I think they're caviar beads, or little like marbles, gold marbles, that I attach to the top and the bottom of this teardrop little charm. I start off with one medium size one in the center of the top of the charm, and then I go in with a bunch of these very, very tiny ones just to kind of frame the edges. And I play around with this a lot. That's why gel is so fun to work with when you're doing like charms like this, because you can really play around with where the placement is and cure it when you are like completely happy with the way that it looks. I also know that right now you can kind of see a little ledge of where my rhinestone glue is. I do go out and thin that out afterwards, but I wanted to make sure I had enough surface area to work with depending on how many charms and designs that I did. So you see me going in with this little brush right now and just kind of feathering that out so that when I top coat, you don't notice that like little ledge anymore. Once your charms and your little like caviar beads are where you want them, you can go ahead and flash cure that. I'm using my little iGel Beauty flash cure lamp, and I'm just doing that, not even probably for the full 30 seconds, because I do just pop it in the big lamp. I just want them to stay where they are. And then I'm going in with the Not Polished Turquoise Jelly Polish, as well as the V Beauty Pure Black Shader Polish. And I'm gonna do kind of like a gemstone, like tortoise shell design inside this little charm. So I take that tiny brush that I was using earlier, and I'm going in with a little bit of that black shader gel polish, and I'm just doing a couple little speckles here and there. I'm gonna flash cure that for about 15 seconds, and then I'm gonna go over top of that with the tortoiseshell jelly. I am gonna do approximately 3 layers of this just because I was doing them pretty thin, and curing in between. You can do as many layers as you need to get the effect that you want. I did about 3 for this. Again, you can do slightly thicker layers, but I wanted to build it up to where I wanted it, so I just did a couple thin layers. Then I'm gonna go in with my iGel Beauty Gel Top Coat. This one is one that you do have to wipe off the sticky layer, but I am going to top top coat the entire nail, including those charms. I've noticed in just past nail sets that a lot of these small like gold charms tend to tarnish or change color as you wear them if you don't top coat over them. I assure you, although a lot of people don't recommend to top coat over them, that it really doesn't change the look or the effect of the charm on the nail. So for me, I think it still works fine. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you were the one who requested the burnt sienna look, please let me know what you think of it down below. You can obviously pair this design with like a full nude nail, going and doing like a full marble nail, kind of mixing it up and just taking different elements to create a full set, since I know that this wasn't a full set in this video. With the easy tape method, I'm showing you how you would remove your nail once you're done. So you kind of just take a little tool and kind of lift up the practice hand nail that you were working on. And as you can see, there is double-sided tape underneath, and that is what kept the practice nail that you were actually applying secured to the silicone finger. And I just wipe that off with a little bit of rubbing alcohol so that I can save this design in my little jar that I save everything in. But once you are done with that, when you're ready to apply another one, you want to go in and take one of their full cover, the working tips. You want to make sure that you pick the working tip size, and then you want to take a little bit of double-sided tape and apply it to the nail bed. This is what is considered your natural nail, and then you go in with the square side facing the cuticle with your working nail and apply that on top, and it kind of sandwiches together so that it doesn't move as you file, shape, buff, and apply your nails. And that is pretty much it. A really easy system. I really like this practice finger, and I can't wait to use it more. If you like this, thumbs it up. Let me know what you think down below. Comment down below what you want to see from me. Subscribe to my channel, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye everybody.